But to begin with, I'd love for you to tell me um, just a little bit about how you actually started in this industry that is acting, this mad industry. How did that begin for you?
Well, it's interesting because I was at school, Taunton, Somerset. It was a public school. I was one of those kids that was sent away to school, and there was this grammar school, the drama club that I got involved with, and I was hopeless at examinations, but I sort of shone in the drama club, and
Mhm.
so that's where it all began. And I used to go and see plays at the Bristol Old Vic while I went to Taunton in Somerset. I went to Bristol Old Vic and saw plays at the theatre there, and I just fell in love with it. So
Mm.
really, that's how it all began. And then when I left school, I tried to get a job in regional theatre. I ended up in the Salisbury Playhouse for 2 years,
Ooh.
acting ASM, sweeping the stage, making the tea, and just couldn't get enough of it. I loved it, playing little parts as well. And then I went to
Mm.
drama school. I went to LAMDA, London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art, and from there I started regional theatre, and then RSC for 4 years, and then television, and then on to movies. So it was a classic rise, really, from day
Mm.
one. It was a real, I knew from a very early age what I wanted to do. My father was not so keen on me doing theatre, so he sent me to a vocational guidance organization that you filled out these little forms, and it
Mm.
told you what they thought you'd be good at. And I ended up being either a journalist or an estate agent. And my father said, "Oh, being a stage agent because you can play golf on Thursday afternoons." How on earth he knew estate agents played golf on Thursday afternoons? But it didn't happen. So, it's
Yeah.
me. Here I am. So at 70, still going strong, for goodness
Fant-
sake. So
Fantastic.
it's been an extraordinary,
Mm.
lucky thing to do, really, because I really couldn't have done anything else. I mean, that was
Mm.
it.
Can I ask then? I suppose that your IMDb says you started in '77 with your first like on camera work, but when did that acting career begin for you? Around what year? Around what year was that, if you don't mind my asking?
Well, I joined the Salisbury Playhouse in '69.
Right.
So that's when I actually started doing theatre, and then I ended up doing Nicholas Nickleby on Broadway, which was an extraordinary show that lasted
Mm.
9 hours. And we went to Broadway with that. So it wasn't until after that, about '71, that I started doing television. And quite early on, I did a TV show called Edge of Darkness, which took off.
Mm.
It was a fantastic show that won a lot of BAFTAs, and it was the first TV I'd virtually done,
Mm.
as it was with Bob Peck, who then got a BAFTA award for the show, and it became this cult. It's still a cult show today. There's
Yes,
still
I've
people who
heard of
come
it
up and
actually. Yeah.
say, people come up and say, "Oh my God, you're Harcourt from Edge of Darkness." So they still talk about it now.
Mm.
So that was the first really sort of
Mm.
TV thing that helped me get further along. It was a great show.
Fantastic. And I only want to do this brief tangent because obviously, as I told you earlier, I was speaking with Sam Fisher Becker, and he felt there was, especially getting into the industry, there's a stigma of go and get a real job. There's this stigma of it's very easy to be turned away from acting.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for people who are starting in this industry at
Well, I
all?
would say, I'm asked quite a lot of it, but when I go to conventions, people
Mm.
come up and say, "Look, what would you advise?" Or parents ask me about their kids who want to do drama. I said, "Look, I would say one thing: go to drama school.
Mhm.
That's such a good grounding. It gives you 3 years I spent in Lambda were some of the best 3 years I've ever had, and it gave me such a good grounding on how to do theatre and how to get involved in real acting, in terms of what acting is about and the truth and all the rest of it, and finding the method of
Mm.
acting and stuff like that." So drama school, it always cracks me up, these people. I spent 10 years in LA and Los Angeles, and
Yeah.
just hearing the stories about people who get off Greyhound buses in LA, and they think they're going to be the next Brad Pitt, and they have no training whatsoever.
Mm.
And occasionally they get lucky and they can do the odd bit of TV or film here and there, but no one has any training, and it really is a travesty.
Mm.
I think, and there are so many people who wedding tables and waiters and all the rest of it who got who are just hoping for a big break. And they just need, training. And there's nowhere in LA. There's not even a school. There's not even a drama school to help these
My
guys do it.
days.
Like, it's crazy. New York is the place to go. It's
Yeah.
Juilliard's and places like that. But I mean, there's nothing in LA.
Mm.
And they have these rip-off merchants called coaches. These
Yes.
drama coaches who to teach them how to do, acting auditions and stuff like that and charge a fortune. And they have about 20, 30 people in a class. And you're very lucky to get up and do a little bit of work. It's crazy stuff. So that's what I would say. Drama school. Go to drama school. The other thing is, you've got to look on acting as a vocation.
Yes.
You cannot look on it as anything else, because unless you are committed to it, unless you are passionate about it, you've got no hope, because you're going to get so many rejections, and you've just got to really want to do it. You've got to really want to do it. You can't think of anything else, and you must really want it, because that's the only thing that will get you through it, really.
And that foundation that you mentioned of you sleeping up, making the teas, and that sort of thing, I imagine you'd recommend that to people who are starting out as well, right?
Absolutely. If they can get into a regional theatre, as I did, and act as an acting ASM, an assistant stage manager, where you're on the book, you're going helping with their lines, you prompt them, you prompt the actors, and then you do little set work. You can do props or something, or you can do sound or stuff like that, or just to back up the technician side of theatre, but watching everybody acting at the same time. That's a great grounding. So I was lucky to have them both.
Oh, absolutely. And being in the industry, if you don't mind my saying, for quite a few years. So as you said, you started off in the 70s, obviously. I'd love to know what you find to be quite different about either television, theatre, film now as compared to when you started. Is there any noticeable differences? Do you feel it better, worse, etc.?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think the thing is I mean, things are so much better now. I mean, there's so much variation, and there's so much, and of course, there are so many platforms.
Yeah.
That you can get involved with, streaming and stuff like that, and you're not just relying on ITV or BBC or stuff like that. All these other endless things that you can. Well, as I said, there's a much more varied opportunity for actors to work in all sorts of mediums now than there were in my day, when there was just just television in its form that you knew it as, and then theatre. So yeah, I mean, it's much more varied now, and yeah, that's what I would say about.
I think definitely the amount of platforms is fantastic. Even talking about things like Netflix, or even being able to put things up online just on its own. I'm hoping
there are shows that you can watch on YouTube as opposed to anything else. I mean, it's like, I mean, it's endless. And also, you have the opportunity now to make really good show reels.
Yes.
Couldn't do in my early days, which is doing little snippets of you can take them from the TV shows that you've done or film, doing little sort of excerpts and put them on a show reel, so your agents have a chance to show that to casting agents or producers. So there's that now, which is such a good boom.
Oh, absolutely. With myself, I have like a background in media production. So when I've been in education, the very first thing they drill in you is get a good show reel. Anything you do, archive, anything you do, get the copy. Absolutely.